Okay, once again, good morning. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Tuesday, September 15th. We're going to be previewing Tulane versus Navy this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. in Yeoman Stadium. They're going to be home. No fans allowed due to the COVID-19. So hopefully we can get fans soon. So rather than later. So we are going to have the Willie Fresh press conference, and also we'll have the Navy press conferences as well, and we'll be going over breaking down the game. So once again, thanks for joining us here this morning. Let's go ahead and get this off the screen. We'll go over, send our links over. I'm going to go ahead and send you your links. If you want to come in video chat with us, you can. Send this over. Send it over to Sportscaster. We'll give you that and give it that in a second. Let me get in place. There we go. Everything's on Sportscaster. We'll send over one to Facebook as well. So make sure Facebook gets it as well. So we won't leave anyone out. So we'll go ahead and send that over. We'll paste it over to y'all, and y'all have it. And y'all also have the links as well. And also Twitter. We'll have Twitter as well. If you want to come on Twitter, from Twitter as well, you can do that. And we'll send it over to y'all as well. So we are live. So once again, thanks for joining us. We will begin our Tulane football preview in just a minute. So let me go ahead and put that up on the screen so you'll see what we're going to be doing today. So that's what we're doing today, Tulane preview. Let's go over to the interview section. We'll have Willie Fritz, and then we'll also have the Navy coaches. So let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Okay, we'll start with Coach Willie Fritz talking about the Navy game, and also Tajay Spears, and also Cameron Sample talking about this week's game with Tulane with Navy. So let me go ahead and play this for you.
Worked out today. We normally
make sure
don't do quite as much on Monday, but we don't know what's going on here the next 2 days. So, we're changing our routine up just a little bit to make sure that we're going to be able to get some reps in and some practice. And, obviously Navy runs something that's highly unusual offensively, and then they do some different things on defense as well. They're a little unique over on that side of the ball also. Really proud Cam Sample was named AAC Defensive Player of the Week, which is a great honor for Cam, and I think he was very deserving of that award. He played an outstanding game. Tajay Spears was on the honor roll for the AAC as far as offense was concerned. He also had a great game. I think he had 11 carries for 105 yards and 2 catches for 30 yards. So that's neat that those guys got some recognition. We had an opportunity last evening, we watched the tape of the game and we're able to go over a lot of different situations and that come up in a real ball game. And I think it was a good learning session for our student athletes, and they're going to glean a lot from this game, both physically and mentally, for the future ball games. We know we're going to find a different Navy team. I've listened to Coach Ken talk about how he wished he had scrimmaged more. I was singing the blues on that after the ball game on Saturday night as well. And I've heard he's been scrimmaging quite a bit recently. So we're going to see that tough, hard-nosed Navy team. They're very disciplined, very physical, and we got to match all those things. We play them Saturday afternoon, I guess Saturday morning, going to 11 o'clock. So that's exciting. Any questions? I really do. I think he's got tremendous movement. He's a pro measure 6'3", 280, a little over 280. He really has got great change of direction, smart, uses his hands well. He can play inside and play a 4-eye for us. He can also play outside edge of tackles. Get off blocks is what he does a good job. Really smart, intelligent young man, both in the classroom and playing football. So yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. He's playing great for us. He's done a fabulous job, and I've never coached in the NFL, but I've had a lot of guys who've gone on and played, and I certainly think he's one of those guys who's going to be able to do it.
Talk about the Ford contract extension? Is that actually going? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm fired up. I'm my wife and I are excited about it. We love New Orleans. We love Tulane. Uh, Great school. We've got a great group of young men playing for us. I think the future is extremely bright. We've got a great class that we signed last year. We feel like we got a great group committed, and I just this has been a great uh, program that has had great teams in the past, great coaches, and we just want to do it consistently. We want to build upon what we've done here the last couple of years. And I really think there's the sky's the limit for Tulane with the academics. We can sell the student athletes, the great league we play in, our location. All those things are pluses, and no reason why we can't have high end academics and be a football powerhouse. And that's what our goal is.
Did they approach you, or how did this all get started?
Well, they approached me on it, and to be honest with you, I think it's been done for quite a long time. So we just released it today, and we're kind of waiting until all this got sorted out. But who knows when all this is going to get sorted out? And I'm excited about it. My wife and I love living here. This is a great city to live in. I've always lived in college towns, and here in Uptown, you get part of that college town experience, which I think is important because here on campus, everybody knows each other. We're not a large university. We've only got about 8,000 full-time students. We also get the feel of a big city, and New Orleans is so unique. It's a little bit different than Statesboro and Huntsville and Warrensburg, Missouri, and Brent, Texas. So it's a little bit more to do. So we really enjoy it here. Love it.
Willie, we've talked in the past about coaches coming up to you and congratulating you for going 6-6, and you feel like that's good because you feel like you can do a lot better. Do you feel like this is a program that can do it now?
I really do. I think that and as I've said many times before, they've had great teams here. It just hasn't happened consistently. Obviously, we made the big move up conference wise up to the AAC, and I think people are starting to understand what a great conference the AAC is. Uh, but I don't there's no reasons why we can't get it done. And we've had really good continuity with staff. I've got great assistant coaches, great coordinators. I got to do a super job of trying to keep those guys, but it's this is a great place to live and a great place to coach, a great university to work for. I enjoy working for Troy Dannon. He tries to help us every step along the way, and he and I have a good relationship. And I try to, I see the big picture athletically as well, and try to do what I can to help the athletic department as well. But he's fun. Mr. Dr. Fitz, our president, is aces. He's heck. Matter of fact, a bunch of our guys we're gonna stay in a hotel the next couple of days. Just to make sure that everything goes well. With the next few days. So there's no reason you can't do it big here at Tulane.
So the hotel is to shield against COVID, or is that for the storm, or
Well, we're shutting down the storm. it's there all the power's going off here in the Wilson Center here at 2 o'clock today. So we got a bunch of guys on campus. It's just being preventive. You know, I've been through a lot of these deals where it hasn't happened. You all, I know Ed and Gary probably for sure have been where it's been for real. So we take all these possibilities seriously, and that's why we're gonna move these guys for at least the next couple days, so they can be safe.
Kind of the landscape around here in college football. There's so much new right now. It gives you an advantage, recruiting standpoint, and there's no doubt how much money you guys have.
That's what I tell them when the last few months I've told them that I got a contract that runs through 2027. I've already been telling some recruits this, and I'm going to be your head coach the whole time you're going to be here. And I got a lot of coaches, on my staff that I really think are going to be here for a long period of time. They love New Orleans. It's a unique experience for them. And I've had a couple of my coaches tell me it's the first place they've ever been where they have friends outside the coaching staff. Most of the time, coaches are, just they're just hanging out with each other all the time, and they don't really know a lot of other people. So I think that's neat for my coaches. So yeah, I do think that's a big deal in recruiting. To be able and tell kids and hey, I'm going to be your head football coach, and that shouldn't be the only reason a kid picks a university, but I think it's a very important one. I tell them all the time, number one, better be academics. What are you going to do with that degree for the next 40 years of your life? That's the number one thing we sell. I know that.
On this year's to the big day Saturday, can you talk a little bit about quarterback Griffin and what you expect him to do?
He's got unbelievable work ethic. I mean, this guy comes to work every single day. He's one of our hardest workers, and generally speaking, your best players are also your hardest workers. I've had very few times where it hasn't worked that way. But he's tough. He'll block you. Sometimes you get guys that are receiving passes or carrying the ball, and sometimes they don't want to do those extra things. And he's a tough, hard nosed competitor, and he's as good a blocker as we've got. There was 3 or 4 times during camp when we had some big linebackers blitz in the A gap or the B gap, and he met them at the line of scrimmage and put them on their backs, which is unusual for a running back to do. So we love everything about him. He catch the ball. He's assignment sound. He's good inside and outside. I think he's only going to get better.
Part of the master plan, you've got some really good systems in place as far as taking care of those guys, and a guy like Will Hall, who's dominated the offensive frontier. How difficult is that system?
Well, I just go every day, and I just treat these assistants as good as I can. I think we've got a great work environment. I've been an assistant coach before. I've been a coordinator before. And I've been a head coach a long time. And I was really blessed when I came up through the ranks to work for great head coaches and that work, the style of hours that you keep. These guys are all family men too, and I try to give them an opportunity to be around their family as much as they can. I have the families up here at the offices as much as they want to be. It's different now with the pandemic, but all those guys, I'm very fortunate. I've got a great group of coaches, and love to have them here as long as they want to be here. But I don't get in anybody's way. If someone feels there's a better opportunity out there for them, I'm here to help them. And I lost a couple of great coaches last year, in Kevin Peoples and Chris Hampton, and they had some great opportunities. And heck, I wanted to help those guys, and I did with the coaches when they called me. But we feel like we replaced them with great coaches as well. So just it's when you have a lot of success, That's what happens.
Going back and looking at, especially in the first half defensively, when you look back on those snaps, Coach G asked you to do everything. Do you think it was just a situation that you went through on Saturday night where maybe it was about understanding how to convert a screen to a blitz or some continuity issues? How easy was that first game?
I think it's going to be great to have a game under our belt. It's just everybody doing their 111th, doing their job. It's the simplest phrase, do your job. You hear a lot of football coaches talk about that. But, it just was, not as accurate as we needed to be. Catching the ball, I think we had 5 drops, and two or three of those were for first downs. Now you move the chains. One guy blocking the wrong guy on a particular run play. Just things like that. Uh, we were able to overcome it, but that first game, it's always a little bit different. They always don't do everything exactly like you think you're going to see, and you got to make adjustments, and you got to have experience to do that. Uh, but we were really close on a lot of plays in the first half, and then we did a much better job in the second half with execution, and that's where we started getting successful.
You mentioned that your contract runs through 2027. Is that accurate? Is that the
Yes,
correct year?
yeah.
Anything else for Coach Fritz?
Thank you.
Okay, Top J Spears coming up.
Tajay, just how did you feel about your performance in the first game?
And then we'll have Cody Samples coming up next.
Kind of go as you
Um,
expected for you.
so Cam Samples
I
next.
felt good. I just want to start out by thanking God and also the offensive lineman and the coaching too. But I feel good though. It's a lot of little things I can do to improve on my game, like with blocking, even running the ball, even making better plays in the game.
How hard was it for you last year to only play 4 games? I mean, it's a talented running back group, but just to be patient knowing that this year you'd get back.
Um, it was very hard, but I'm very supportive. It ain't all about me. It's about it's about other people too. So like however I can support, I'm gonna do so.
Coach Fritz just mentioned what a good blocker you are. How much pride do you take into that, and how did you and what do you attribute to being such a good blocker?
I try to be like I want to be the best block. I want to be like this might sound crazy. I want to be a better blocker than a runner. Like I really like this offseason. I really took pride into that because most people think it's me running the ball. Like I want to be a blocker too. Like I really take pride in that. Like that's a big part of my game. I want to get better, and I'm gonna keep on getting it better.
Tajay, Coach Hanks predicted during the summer that you would have a big year. He told me when I went out to Ponchatoula, he said, Tajay is going to have a big year. And he even texted me during the game as I was watching the game in Mobile on Saturday night. Can you talk about that relationship and how encouraging he's been to you?
Very encouraging, man. Like I don't want to go on all day, but like since the 10th grade, he's like, I was a bad kid, but like he told me that day, like you got a chance to play college football, and he changed my life ever since then. And ever since then, like he been like a father figure for me, pulling screens for me. Like he even got me here, so like I'm very thankful for him. I'm glad I stayed at Ponchatoula and played under him. Big role model
Was,
for me.
was he ever tough on you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh my God, there was a point like I thought he hated me one point, but yeah, that's my dog, man.
So without him, you're not here right now, right?
I think it's all about God, but like he played a big part. He played a big part, and I'm truly I'm so thankful for him.
You look comfortable out there. Do you want to have a big workload or whatever? It didn't seem like you were stressed at all.
Nah, I ain't stressed. Like I try to put a lot of stress on me during practice, so that'll be easier. Like I like having a lot of big workload, like you said. So it was normal. It's time to amp it up though.
What does that mean? How much?
A whole bunch. Like it's time to go harder. Every game you gotta go harder. Every play you gotta go harder. You can't. I ain't complacent. I ain't satisfied where I'm at right now. I gotta keep on getting better.
What was the what was the last time you ran a 40, and what were you timed at? Do you remember? Of course you do.
I think it was Tulane. I think they timed me in a 4.4. But I'm gonna give you a 4.5 because I don't want to lie. I'm gonna say a 4.5. I think I'm faster though.
You mentioned last year that you felt like, although you had some big schools after you, felt like you were under recruited a little bit. Do you play with a chip on your shoulder at all, or what's your mindset?
I I I try to think as it like a chip on my shoulder, but like I don't really play with a chip on my shoulder. I play I really be having fun. I really be zoned in on like what I'm doing. So like I really be focused on the moment. I don't really care about that chip on your shoulder because me personally, I don't really believe in all that. So I just play like I'm just trying to be the best I can be. Like I know and other people know I was under recruited, but I'm here now. I'm gonna make the best out of my opportunity here.
How would you describe your running style?
That's hard. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's hard. Versatile, unique. I don't want to brag on myself. Unique. I'm gonna let other people do that, man. Unique.
Anything else for Tajay? All right. Thank you, Tajay.
Okay, Cam Samples comes up next,
How would you assess
and then we'll have
your
Coach
pretty
Ken Montenegro with
well? Do you feel like
Navy.
I think it's a good starting point. Looking back at the film, I thought I left some plays out there. Some more stuff I could. I feel like in this kind of new role that got me, I think I played pretty well. But it's just game one. I'll just look to build on it going for fourth in the rest of the season.
what is that new role?
Um, just let me. I feel like I'm in a more of a attack position now. I get to make more plays. Show more of my athleticism.
So when you heard about that, you were pretty excited. Huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to get me to let loose.
Was there anything like in the late third quarter, fourth quarter, you guys were pouring in on them, and they really didn't even have time to look downfield or really get a good clean pass down the field. Was it just an attitude of determination, or were there any adjustments up front? What made it so good, especially in the fourth quarter?
Well, I think once a quarterback change happened, we kind of realized they're becoming more of a passing team. So I feel like our mindset, after first, second obvious rundowns, just really pin our ears back and go get it. And DBs tighten up their coverage, and we just start flying in.
And there was reports today. It was revealed that Coach Fritz has been given a contract extension. He said this isn't actual news. It happened a while ago. It was just announced today. But what do you think? What makes him special for you as a coach? And how far where do you think you can take this Tulane program?
I know everyone uses it, but legit, the sky's the limit. Fritz, he's been doing it for a while. He's a great leader. He sets his expectations, pushes us to get there and go past them every day. So this program is definitely in great hands with Coach Fritz, and I'm excited to see what we do this year and the years going forward with him being here.
I asked him if you were an NFL player, and not only did he answer in the affirmative, but he praised you quite a bit. Do you feel like, hey, I had to make a major jump this year? Any thoughts about that as far as not only this year but football in the future?
Um, I felt like I didn't really get to put a complete season together. My couple of years, whether it be injuries or other issues going on. So I'm just blessed to have this opportunity. I'm just gonna attack every game, every rep like this, and definitely just let my elevated game speak for itself.
You got Navy coming up this week. You know the drill now with
Yeah.
that team. But what makes them so tough to prepare for? Do you feel like you guys are pretty with all the experience you have on the defensive line? Do you feel like you're pretty equipped to know what to do against that type of offense?
Yeah, not very many teams in the country run the triple option the way they do, so it's kind of a completely different team like than what we seen last week, different scheme, and yeah, we got a lot of experience. A lot of guys who played in these games kind of know what to expect, so I think that'll help us moving forward, and we'll just be ready for them on Saturday.
You guys got off to a slow start the other night. That was a problem in a few games last year. Can you put your? I mean, this may have just been opening game situation, but could you put a finger on what needs to happen to make sure you guys have faster starts in games?
I can't really put a finger on it. I just know we got to lock in, stay focused, and just come out and throw the first punch, not wait. Let them get up and try to make an ESPN class out of every game. We just need to set the tone and just keep our foot on the gas.
How significant is it for the team, for the program, and for you, Jim, to play on ABC? How big a deal is that?
It's great publicity for the school, our program, but I think our mindset as players is just a game. We got to go out, be 1-0 after this week, be 2-0 in the year. So it's great for the program, but we're just going out trying to win the game.
Anything else for camp? Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, once again, we'll have Coach Ken Mutenegro. His name's a little tricky, but we'll go ahead and put him in. We'll go ahead and put his interview in with the media. We'll switch this over to Navy Athletics, and we'll switch it to Coach. We'll switch to him. He was on, so let's go ahead and play him. Set it up. Make sure everything is set.
Loved your remarks, by the way, after the game with the kind of it's on me thing as far as the practice and whatnot. How different is your preparation going to be here going forward, given that result Monday night?
Yeah, obviously I've thought long about it. I mean, you kind of hope that doesn't happen, but when you've been doing this for so long, I mean, I know how to – I got all these stupid analogies. You're going to bake a cake, and I know the ingredients. If you skip some ingredients, it's not going to turn out. And so when you skip those kinds of things, our cake was flat. I mean, this is a contact sport. You can't, skip it. And so just talk with our trainers and everything. We're testing twice a week now. Now we're in season. So I feel like we can be safer. And we just go, we just go and talk with our team today just to make sure that everybody's comfortable with that too. Because I don't want to force anybody, just say, we're going to practice normally. The contact tracing in our league obviously is a little bit more stringent with all the face-to-face stuff, but we feel like, hey, if we're testing twice a week now, some places like in the league, they test daily. So, you can mitigate that stuff, but we're at least up to twice a week. So I feel, safe that we can practice going back to normal. We'll probably hit a little bit more than we would in the season. Like, even if we're in the season right now, we wouldn't do as much because, you don't tackle and stuff like that during the season. But obviously missing all that stuff. It's like you have a process and you go from A to K, you skip everything in between it. And obviously your words don't make sense because you skip all those ingredients. So they were a team well prepared. They were a team just prepared normally. That's what they look like. They look like they were playing a game. We were playing first scrimmage. It was like the first scrimmage against somebody. That's what it looked like. But how would you expect anything differently? So you kind of hope, and I knew all of this before that. I was just kind of weighing it, safety, this, okay, we'll see the football part of it. And, I've thought about it over the weekend stuff. I think I feel better about being able to press forward with, twice a week testing. But like I said, after the game, I still feel like if I was to do it again, I'd probably do it the same way. I'm a football coach, but you're in charge of people's lives too, and their safety. And we just unfortunately buried one of our players a couple months ago. And so I'm not saying that everybody dies from COVID-19, There's fortunately those that are healthier seem to live and do okay with it. But all those stuff factor in. When you make these kind of decisions, to me, it's more than winning games. You know what I mean? First of all, you always take care of people, make sure people are healthy. But I feel better now. I feel better with having 2 tests. You obviously don't feel better with the results. I mean, it sucks losing, especially losing like that. We've never lost like that at home. We've never lost like that to anybody since I've been a coach. I mean, it's just, and it could have got worse, but again, they were a team that could tell been playing and practicing normal. And we looked like a team that had our first live interaction. We looked horrible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the players' fault, wasn't the assistant coach's fault. I had our guys try to get ready under those circumstances, which you can't do.
Looking forward, what's the positive side of that Temple game getting pushed back the way it is and giving you that time in between?
Well, I think all of it's good, Randy. I feel all of it's good. I feel like we're better. We've had several tests, and we've been really clean. I mean, don't have any positives, so there's a lot of good things from that standpoint, which was my number one goal on all of it from the beginning of it. Not just to play a season, but to keep people safe. So I feel good about the extra time we can prepare football-wise, especially now with the two tests per week. So I feel like we can start preparing a little bit normally. Like I said, I always started with the COVID-19 stuff first, and then work for the football second. I feel like we can do football stuff now and keep our guys safe, keep our players safe. So I feel good about that. And extra time will definitely help us.
Good. All right, thank you.
Kareem Copeland, Washington Post.
Hey, Ken. Kareem, Washington Post. Quick question. I was curious, what was the conversation like with the doctors or the medical folks when you start to discuss going back to, I guess, full normal practices, number one? And number two, will you guys have actual scrimmages now? Or any scrimmaging as you get ready to prepare?
Oh, yeah, we're going to practice normal. We're just going to do normal. And, it obviously, that game, like I said, it was your worst nightmare, but you kind of hope it wouldn't happen. There was a high likelihood that would happen, not hitting, not doing anything live. Last time we tackled somebody was in the bowl game. Only tackling we did were donuts, and the only blocking we did were bags. So there's a high likelihood that's what it would look like. But I knew that, and I still made that decision. And so talking with the doctors or our medical guys is like, well, I feel a little bit better that we're testing twice a week. Do you guys feel better? Because we do. Plus, in all of our latest tests, we've been clean. And so, well, with all that cases, do you feel good that I'm going to go ahead and just start practicing normal? And I said, yeah. I said, okay, then we're going to press forward. We had a test this morning. Our whole program. And the cool thing, like I said, everybody involved in our program have been negative. So that I've been really excited about that. And so we just kind of press forward. We got to speed up some stuff, like I said, because we didn't tackle it all during camp. Didn't have spring ball. Probably picked the wrong team to play that had spring ball and had all of camp. But they're a team that I thought would be safe too. Like I said, the earlier part when Notre Dame fell out is who were some teams that I feel like will keep our guys safe too.
Just one follow. Now that you've seen the tape, obviously, wasn't happy with the overall product, but were there some positives that once you went back and looked at the tape that you said, okay, well, at least we did this well?
Yeah, some. A lot of stuff. Not much, but you see a lot of things. Like, obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm encouraged because I guess more than anything on the tip, I was encouraged by our demeanor on the sideline. We have the character of our program is really strong. There's no negativity. There's no finger pointing. A lot of great leadership on the sideline. But obviously, we got to play better. But also, got to be able to allow our guys to be able to play better by preparing better. So that's why I guess the silver lining for me is, we can play football now. And we'll just kind of go from there.
Dave Preston, WTOP. You're on mute, Dave. You still here?
Just like they
Not,
use it.
I will go to.
Good afternoon, Coach Dave Preston. Yep. Mute. Okay. I thought I had muted my. Now I have not. Coach, first off, they say that the biggest improvement. I'm not? Okay.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Yep, I'm not.
Looks like it is.
Bill Wagner, Annapolis Capital.
Hi,
Annapolis.
Coach.
Napa's Capital.
Can you walk us through how a post-game testing works? And because I'm guessing you don't want to have team activities till you know how your guys came out of the game. Can you kind of just walk us through how it works and when you get a test result back, knowing that, okay, here we are Monday and I'm comfortable with having a team-wide meeting or practice or whatever because I now know everyone's safe?
Well, I don't know if I should allow that. I mean, that should come from the medical people. But I just know that, we have tests and they tell us we're all good. We get the results back. And, it's been going well. Like I said, we're probably the cleanest team in the country. Unfortunately, we suck in football right now. So it's but it's my fault. Like I said, I don't blame anybody. I do not blame the players and assistant coaches at all. Because we had long discussions, and they're like, we got to do this, we got to do that. I know we're not going to do it. And, I've talked to players and like, Coach, we need to hit more. And no, I'm not going to. So it was all on me. We're not a very good football team, but how could you be a good football team if you don't practice live? You know what I mean? It's not the players' fault, it's my fault.
Right. So I'll see if Strauss will let me talk to Jim Barry about how it all works. But would it be fair to say that you do not restart your team activities each week until you know how you've come out of the game?
Because they're clean. I think the part about it is, no, we start, but we both test before the game. And that's how we see, that's where all this bubble starts from. Everybody that's involved with the football team and coaches, you're all tested before the game. You get a band, saying that you're cleared. And so the only people you interact with in the game are people that are supposedly negative. So
right,
I think
including the
most
officials and whatnot.
Everybody. So the only people allowed in there are people that have been tested.
Well, I know you're beating yourself up on one end, but on the other hand, what you did in preseason did work because unlike a lot of other programs when they first came back, you didn't have outbreaks. So, you got to take some positives from your approach and then just figure out a way to make that work with what you got to do going forward.
Like, I've been doing this a long time, So I knew the risk. I knew the risk if you didn't practice, what your team would look like. We didn't have spring ball. We were looking forward to finding a quarterback in spring to see what he could do. We didn't have that. You didn't have summer workouts. And while most people were able to come back June 1st, we came back early July, but we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then our first 2 weeks in July, our 2 weeks in July were walkthroughs. And so the only time we started to practice was in August. And then in August, I didn't hit. And that was my choice. And so I weighed all of it in. Are you going to have a bad football team? Or do you risk people's health? And with everything that's going on, you look at it, I don't know what's going to happen. So I erred on that side. That's the side that if I was going to err on the side, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not trying to, get a statue or anything like that or any wins. Just my first thought was, keep our guys safe and try the best to mitigate the other part. And I was hoping we could do that, kind of crossing your fingers, knowing that the other side, that's a bad formula to getting a team ready. Or I could have went, you know what, we're going to practice normal, and whatever happens, happens. And I didn't want to go that route. You know what I mean? Now, I mean, we probably would have been a better football team, but like I said, I mean, there are a lot of things that weighed in. Some of that, the health issues. You know, we had a pretty traumatic thing happen in our program off season. You know what I mean? So I'll give you an example. When I was an assistant coach, when there was lightning, I used to always be the guy, like if the head coach say, you know, head indoors, you know, we saw some lightning. I'm like, what? Come on, lightning. I mean, it's so far away. We're good. Keep practicing. But when you become the head coach and their health stuff, I feel like I'm gonna err on the side of protecting the players, families, and I know the fans don't want to hear that. And I obviously don't like losing. I hated losing, but it's the decision I made based on all of that.
Considering how things unfolded, is it tough to evaluate Dalen's performance? Perry came in and did a couple good things, but I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of chance either. But I mean, where are you with your quarterbacks, Coach? Does that game even play into that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was kind of like, I shouldn't say this because BYU beat the crap out of us, but it's like our first live scrimmage with them, so you can kind of evaluate them, see how they're doing, and fortunately played against a good team. But no, I think, you know, Ivan will continue to assess that. It's kind of hard to get an assessment because we didn't play very well. And, you know, two teams were playing at totally different speeds. It's like one team was playing normal football and we were playing touch football. You know what I mean? One team was playing a game, we were scrimmaging. Like I said, I've been in that stadium many times and played many people. We played Notre Dame, we played Ohio State, we played South Carolina. You know, we've played a lot of really good teams over the years, all the teams in our conference, and we've never played like that, but why should we? I mean, we weren't prepared. And it was my fault.
So last for me, and I'll let someone else go on. Being that you now have 2 weeks before Tulane, and you mentioned that you're going to practice normally, would it be fair to say that evaluations sort of begin anew because now you'll be evaluating in a bit of a different light, right?
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, touch football is over with the bags, you know, and stuff's over. No, we got to be careful too. I mean, we can't, you know, old school, you know, we're not talking about Oklahoma drills for 2 hours. That's not what I'm talking about. You know, we just got to be smart, you know what I mean? But we're just going to practice like how we normally practice, you know, that the way we know that we can get a football team ready and count on our testing and our protocol to save us from other stuff and just think about football. The analogy that I gave to people is when we're practicing, it's like the NBA, like when they're playing basketball. When they come off, then they separate and social distance. But in the court, they play basketball. And that's what I want to do. When we're practicing, it's the way we practice. And then we're outside, you know, we wear a mask and all this stuff. But that's what we're going to do now. And again, I want to make sure our team was okay with that. Because a lot of people are at different places. Some people are like, what? I don't want to wear a mask. And some people like, you know, wear their mask going to the bathroom. And there's some people that are kind of in between. So I just want to make sure all of our players are okay. This is the way we're going to practice. Are you cool with it? If you're not, come talk to me. And that's kind of where we're at.
Mike James, Rivals. Mike, you there?
Mike
No.
looks frozen.
Sorry, I was muted. How long does it take to get up to game speed? You know, you mentioned that you usually have spring and you have a couple of weeks of fall camp, but now you have a week and a half, and a good part of that's going to be spent on Tulane prep. I mean, do you have any sense of how long it's going to take to get up to a point where you're satisfied?
I don't know, Mike. It's going to be hard, but you just got to do the best we can. I know I had long talks, even the way we were practicing before with our administration, like, okay, wait a minute, they got to come back in July. And then, you know, the 2 weeks quarantine, that means they're going to have this certain amount of time. It's going to be tough to get them ready, you know, and just conditioning. So our guys, so you're gone for 3 months and on the pandemic. some of our guys got in good shape because some guys got a home gym and some guys got places to run. Some guys weren't in great shape. But then you get here, and then for 2 weeks you're in quarantine, and all you can do is sit-ups and push-ups. So then any base that anybody got, they might have lost their conditioning base, Mike. And so I thought we built that up pretty good. I know it's not to where Coach Fitz wants it. I think we're getting better kind of where to, assignment-wise. We did so many walkthroughs and stuff. I think we're getting okay there. The other part of it, Mike, I don't know. It's one thing walking through, and like I said, it's one thing tackling a donut but to do it live, it's hopefully we're better. Like somebody said, you always make your best improvements. We'll definitely make way more improvement now that we get to practice. I mean, we've got no choice. I mean, it's the worst we've ever played. But I don't know how long that's going to take, Mike. We're going to push the envelope a little bit in some of the things that we do. But you also got to be careful. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can't have 2 hours of contact Oklahoma drills. I mean, we won't have anybody left, in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? But I'm encouraged, though, at least we can start doing some real football in practice.
In the past, when you've had a week off, you would usually spend the first week kind of focusing on yourself, and then the second week for kind of preparing for the game. Are you following a similar pattern now, or do you mix up what you're doing each day?
This has been the strangest year. Like I said, I normally have a schedule what we do, but everything Mike's been day to day. Like, so we're going to go against each other tomorrow, have a physical practice. And normally I'd like to try to go again and doing that, but I got to see where we're at after that. But I have to cut back a little bit or tailor back on Friday and practice Saturday. Or I have 2 tough days, Thursday, Friday, then tail back things on Saturday. This has been hard, like I said, because maybe if we would have started, normal practicing in camp, I could have a better gauge right now. But because the gauge level, I don't really know, besides the fact I saw us play Saturday live and like, whoa, I mean, we're not ready. We'll determine the rest. So based on what I'm saying, anything we did in last year, this is, we're just going by how the team looks. And so we'll just gauge how we're doing by today's practice and tomorrow's practice, kind of go from there. But really, as you said, the biggest focus is on us.
You mentioned earlier you were encouraged by your team's demeanor on the sideline. How are they doing in practice? Do you get any sense that maybe they're frustrated that what they put out on Saturday isn't representative of what they really are?
Yes. I mean, I know that our team's definitely frustrated. I mean, we're a hard team to beat at home. I mean, we don't get beat like that from anybody. I mean, and to go and get beat like that, I mean, I felt, I was glad that, kept our guys safe, but I was definitely not happy for our guys to be able to, because nobody wants to experience that. I was sad for our players, but our guys we got tough kids, Mike. They want to press forward. They're resilient kids. I have great kids. I mean, like I said, some guys that came to me in person and said, Coach, are we hitting enough? And I said, no, but this is the way I want to practice. They're such great kids, Michael, right? And they went forward. You know what I mean? And so we're going to move forward. I think these kids, they've said some good things in the meetings today, that's the past. We got to press forward. I got to help them, be able to get better. You know what I mean? Can't ask them to do something when I don't give them the opportunities to get better. So hopefully we'll get better quickly. And we've got a really good team in Tulane coming up.
Thanks, Coach.
Scott Wyckoff, WBAL Radio.
Hey, Coach. You've looked a lot of players in the eyes in meetings after losses and tough situations. Do you get a sense that they're fired up now that, yeah, they can strap it on and they can show, and maybe some guys who might have not made the first starting lineup say, hey, this is my chance now. to prove that I could maybe step up and pressure that guy who is ahead of me in the depth chart? Do you get a sense that they're fired up, that they can really go at it now in practice?
Yeah, I think our guys are excited to move on. You know what I mean? That was not indicative of a Navy football team or program. That wasn't Navy football. That's not who we are. We're always well-conditioned, physical team. So I think they recognized that wasn't them. And like I said, they know, I mean, it was my fault. And the players, you know, I talked about that even before the game. You know, we're practicing differently. This isn't the way we normally practice, but try our best. And so, and it's not, how can I put this? They're not pointing the finger at me, but they know. I mean, these kids are great kids. I mean, they don't have to say, yeah, it was your fault. I mean, it's obvious. It was obvious. It's the way we practice. I mean, that was not a product that we put out there. And so because of that, I feel like guys are like, you know what, we're going to be doing things normally now, and they're ready to move forward.
Something that's probably frustrating for every coach who coaches 18, 19, 20-year-olds is sometimes their short memory span, but maybe that's an advantage now that kids this age, they can move on. They don't maybe look back as hard as we do because they've got so much ahead of them that they're like, yeah, we're ready to go. We're playing Tulane. It's my next chance to shine.
Well, we're excited to be one of the teams still playing, but they're also excited to move on after this game and not let this one loss turn into two and to press forward. I mean, I think that's the exciting thing. That's what they talked about today. Just not letting this one game turn into two losses.
A couple nice runs by Miles. Do you like the fact that he was able to show some explosiveness for you?
Yeah, we just needed more of it, but yeah, I thought Miles, you know, had some nice runs. You know what I mean? We need a few more of those bright spots, but yeah, that was exciting.
And one final one for you, Coach. Did you get a sense that the assignments were right, that the guys knew where they were supposed to be and what they were supposed to do? It was just the physical nature of it that wasn't there?
Well, the physical nature obviously was the first part of it. You know, we weren't playing like you said, we were scrimmaging and they were playing the game. But no assignments. I mean, I don't know if they're ever perfect, but we had a lot of mistakes too, in that first game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Dave Preston, WTOP. I'll try you again.
See if we can get him.
All right, move on. David Hale, ESPN.
Hey, Ken, I'm curious, in the run-up to the game, you mentioned some of the players kind of saying to you, like, hey, Coach, are we hitting enough? What were the conversations you had with your assistants and the coaching staff? And did they, were they kind of pushing you to maybe think otherwise? Or how much did you kind of wrestle with that decision back and forth as you got closer to game week?
I mean, it wasn't a wrestle. I knew what it would be. But I was, you kind of weigh two things. I mean, the coaches, I mean, all of them. I mean, we had long discussions, staff meeting about this. And I just told them, guys, this is the approach we want to take. We're probably going to suffer from a physical standpoint and being pad ready. But I want to err on the side of safety for our players. And I have great assistant coaches. They trust me. And, they voiced their opinion. And then I just said, guys, I guess the hard part about it, I didn't disagree with them. I was like, you're probably right. You're probably right that it's going to be hard for us to tackle. There's some concern about tackling. There's concern about coming off the ball, the way we normally come off the ball, O-line-wise, where we fire off the ball and we hit people. And, there's a lot of that. And I knew all of that, but I still chose to go down this road. So it wasn't like I was hoping for a miracle, so to speak, that maybe we could, practice this way and still be ready for football. I mean, as the first couple of plays happened, it was going on in the game, we're like, yikes. It's, we were moving at two different speeds. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're playing football. We were doing scrimmage, but like I said, it wasn't a surprise. I was just hoping for the better. I just chose safety of the other stuff. And the one discussion we were talking about goes like, well, coach, you got to be concerned about safety and tackling and stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely concerned on that. So I just, the one thing we try to work is open field, hawk tackling, just keeping your head out of it. Just didn't want anybody get, paralyzed or anything like that. But we had a lot of those discussions during the month. And I just made a decision early on that was the philosophy I was going to have, whether it cost us to win or lose. The priority for me was keeping our team safe, and whatever came below it was below it. It wasn't win and then, safety down here. It was like this. It turned out the way.
How emotional was it for you after that game Monday night? Did you kind of beat yourself up a little bit afterwards, or struggle with the decision-making process, or how did you handle it emotionally?
I was sad for our guys because I know that's not us. You know what I mean? I was sad to see our Navy football team go out and play like that. I was sad because that's not us. That's not the way we play. A big thing that we do I'll give you an example. So I'll just say, like, Coach Norwood was here we've been a lot of different places. And so he was saying, one day Coach Newberry had his baby in the spring. So Coach Norwood was calling plays. And we had 2 huddles going against the defense like we normally do in the spring. And we go pretty rapid fire. And I told Coach Norwood, hey, we're going to be coming pretty quickly at you in our team period. So just be ready for that as you're calling plays. That our offense, we're going to come pretty rapid fire. And then Coach Norwood goes, oh, I'm used to that at Baylor. We used to go up tempo fast. Yeah, I'm good. He had no idea how hard and how fast we practiced and everything we did. And after that, I remember talking to him afterwards. Man, I didn't know he was going to be like that. And so you miss all of that, the way we build our character, all of the stuff, how you formulate our team, the process of building our team. Because, again, we're never as big and as fast as everybody else, but it's those kinds of things that separate us. We didn't have that. We kind of went from the way we looked on the game is the way we practice, hitting bags, tackling donuts. And unfortunately, they weren't donuts. They were moving, and they're big linemen. So I struggled with that from the way our product looked, because I know that's not us. But if I was to go back again, Dave, I'd probably do the same thing in the same scenario. You know what I mean? It just with now, knowing what you know now with the testing, and then now we can test, probably not. And there's so much stuff in the media. I don't know who to believe. Somebody says this, somebody says that, somebody this. I mean, you don't know what to believe and all that stuff. But so I erred on the side of of caution for our team.
You, I know players have certainly there at Navy, but around the country have spoken so forcefully about wanting to play and how much this season means to them. So I'm sure you have an obligation to want to give that to them. But at the same time, was there part of you that was kind of hoping that, the powers that be would step in and say, like, you know what, I think we're not in a place to play right now. We need to take more time.
I don't know if I was there. I was at a place like, like you said, like everybody else, we're all taking in information. And I was like, okay, is this how we keep our team safe? And early on, you watch all these teams test positive, and this team had this many, and they had to stop practice. So like, well, then you hear all this stuff about the myocarditis and all the different things that are going on. So all this stuff started to weigh on me. Let's try to keep our guys safe. And then early on, our protocol was so tight that I was like, wow, we weren't having any positives. And I was like, well, I feel like what we're doing, our bubble, everything, our protocol is keeping us safe. And I was happy on that side of it. And I knew that we could keep our guys safe. But I know football, we were suffering. I was like, I know this wasn't the way to get ready football-wise. The only thing I was concerned about from a physical football standpoint was tackling. Just making sure nobody got hurt. And so we tried to do some stuff, the open field tackling to mitigate it. But I feel like if our protocol was tight, we could keep people safe. And I wasn't, thinking that because I feel like we need to get out and play. I mean, there's some other stuff going on besides the COVID-19. I've said this before. There's guys with some, there's mental stuff going on. There's a lot of depression and anxiety. I mean, we're human beings. We need to see the sun, man. We need to get out. We need to socialize. Staying in quarantine and being in isolation is not a good thing. I mean, when you're in prison, the thing that people do to make things worse on a prisoner is they isolate them. So, being inside, it's, obviously we're trying to stay safe, but there's also some of the other mental stuff too that we have to try to mitigate, trying to create a locker room space outdoors where guys can be outside. So I just want to try to make sure we're safe, and the football will suffer. Obviously, the football suffered tremendously. Now I'm trying to reevaluate it again. Okay, we feel like we can do this safe. Now I feel like I'm in whatever the different phase. I feel like a different phase now. We can test twice. I feel like we can keep our team safe, and we'll practice.
So once again, that was from Navy. So let's go ahead and go over the film study. Let's get that set up. We'll go over the film study, and we'll go over the stat breakdowns, and we'll wrap this up. We can switch this over to the film study. We'll switch that over. We'll go over to Navy, and we'll do the breakdown. So let's go ahead and have that up. We'll switch that over. There it is. We'll go over to the film study. So it looks like on the first play, let's see what happens here on the first play. This was at the 10:42 mark. This was on 3rd and 5. So they had some big holes right there going into those big holes. So that's one thing that they absolutely did wrong. Is so letting BYU run that football, because they had some good backs running that football that night when it was playing against Navy. So Navy was sloppy on that play. So but a flag came in, and this was on 1st and 10. So Navy is set up. Let's see what the play they'll make. Here you see that run right there up the left. So that was a good perfect penetration right there. When you see those perfect penetrations going, that's good for any running game. So I think if we can take advantage of Navy's weakness, that was right there. That was BYU did a pretty good job on that situation. So I look at it this way: if you can contain, if you can run that ball against Navy, that would help you right there. So let's go through some more plays. So that was a big game right there, and that was a touchdown right there. That was from one of their running backs for BYU. That was a 34-yard from Alagrilla. He was a good runner right there that night. He had some nice little runs right there against that Navy defense. So I'm going to tell you right now, if we can have those good runs, we had some good. The last time we played them 2 years ago, that was in Yoma Stadium. We had a good lead in that game, but the truth of the matter is we let it slip away. And to be honest with you, we had to come back in that game. So this is one of the plays that they had right here against the Navy defense. So this was a run play. Let's go ahead and give you another play. Go ahead and give you another situation. This is the run play right here by number 4. So he had some good. So this is what happened on that run play. So their offensive line absolutely just obliterated the Navy defensive linemen. So that they was just absolutely sucking wind. That's one thing about it. So if you could tire their defensive line out, that would help the offense progress in those situations. So Baylor did a pretty good job on that play right there. No, BYU, excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. BYU. That was a nice little run by Keel. Katora. He just put it. It's this is the back view right here. So he just goes in, and that line opens up right there. So that's an alleyway for their runs. They had some pretty good runs against that Navy defensive line. So they were just absolutely obliterated on those runs. So this is the pylon can. We'll just race that. Then the pass plays. Then that pass play. This was their only bright spot right here. Navy on the on 1st and 10, an interception right there. That was their only bright spot of that game right there. It's the interception. So that was one of their that was their only bright spots. It's the interception. Okay, this is another play right here. This is on 1st and 10. I'll give you the situation. He was dropping back. That quarterback for BYU was throwing it. He just hit his receiver right there. So he had 3 people coming towards him. So he had a good receptions. That was against the Navy secondary right there. So that was against the Navy secondary. Okay, this is a run play right here. This is a run play up the middle. So they will get that nice little run play right there. See, we'll get in that alleyway right there. So it will be a good alleyway, and he just got right out of that run right there, right out of the guns right there. So, like I said, they did a pretty good job. They absolutely, BYU did a pretty good job penetration against the Navy defense. So, like Coach Mutanegro says, look, they were just playing first team scrimmage. That's one thing they was playing. So I'll be honest with you, Navy is going to come in Yeoman Stadium, and they're going to be absolutely different now. They're going to be practicing. They got their first game under their belt. They got the message, those Navy players after that game, because they were just absolutely getting destroyed. BYU with that night was just absolutely on their game. Okay, this is on 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1 situation. So they had some good pressures right there, but he had to throw the football away. But he got a good reception right there on that screen pass, and that got another touchdown. So that's how that game went for Navy and BYU. That's Katora on that catch. That's the young man right there. So this is where they come in right here. This is the circles. This is where they come in. So I'll show you. And they will throw a pass play, and that would be a screen pass right there. And the that would absolutely confuse that let's give you a play on here. Let's give you. This is on 2nd and 1. They would go into the end zone right there for a touchdown. And this is what happened. Let's go into the Navy plays, offensive plays. Let's give you the offensive plays of Navy. We'll give you an offensive play of Navy. This is on. Okay, this is the one of their run plays right here. They kind of reverse, so it goes to the left, and he would get some yards on that, but not much. So that was one of their plays that kind of just screwed up on right there. It's a reverse play. So It wasn't a perfectly the offensive line in that game wasn't blocking, so there was no way to get a first down. So they was just trying plays. It was just not going to work. Some of them, that's one of the plays that didn't work right there for Navy, and they'll run the play. This is another running defensive follow up right here for Navy. So, and then the big plays right here. This is a big first down catch. So against two Navy defenders. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this film right here, this tape, and I'm gonna tell you, look, this wasn't that Navy team you always expect, where they run the triple option and they go with the fullback dive and stuff like that. That wasn't that team. I mean, it was just a totally different football team, to be honest with you. So we'll go to one more film session, and we'll go through the one more play, and we'll just wrap it up, and we'll give a stat breakdown on this one. Let's give you one more play. Let's run into one of the plays. We'll give you. Okay, this is the play. This is on Navy's possessions right here. This is on 4th and 9. Navy possessing on a field goal situation. So this is the 48-yard field goal they had to kick, so they just put it in. So that was the only points they got out of it. It was 3 points. So, okay, when you analyze these tapes, like I said, that was not much to talk about in the Navy offense. Only negative plays and defensive plays were just absolutely getting destroyed. So I look at it this way: if you could take huge opportunity to take advantage of Navy's hardship and all right, we can be okay this coming Saturday in Yoma Stadium. So let's go ahead and give you the stat breakdown on them. Let's go ahead and pull those stats up. I will begin pulling up stat breakdown for you. So let me get that pulled up, and I'll give you the an analysis on them. Okay, let's go ahead and give you an analysis. Okay, let's go ahead and give you the full analysis on the Navy midshipmen going into this game. I'll put this up on the screen. Okay, coming in this week in yardage, their average, they're 42nd in the FBS and also 5th in the American Conference. So they're averaging 120 yards a game. Running the football, they're averaging 119 yards a game. They're ranked 5th in the conference and 31st in the FBS. Now, in passing yards, they only average 1.0. That's good for 42nd in the FBS and 5th in the American Conference. They're last in the American Conference when it comes to points. They're only average 3 points a game. They're 41st in the conference. Now, on defensive side, giving up 580 yards last week against BYU. So they're ranked 41st and also 5th coming into the conference this week. Now, on running the football, they gave up 301 yards. That was against BYU in their first game. So I'm going to tell you, if you can take advantage of their, like I said, of their misfortunes, you can get a win in this game very easily. But it's not going to be easy because they're going to come in wanting to win. Now, they're averaging 279 yards a game. That's 32nd in the FBS and 4th in the conference. Also, in points given up, they gave up 55 points last week, ranked 42nd and 5th in conference play. So I look at it this way: one, they're not a good football team as advertised. I mean, there was that performance last week on the 7th was absolutely a devastating one. And it was just like, I would say there was just like a middle school football team. not ready to play football. So I'll look at it this way. They're going to be ready, primed and ready this week versus the Green Wave this week. So let's go ahead and give you the let's go ahead and give you their full stats on the screen. Total first downs, the team only has 7 first downs. They average 6 on runs, 1 on pass. Now the defense gives up 28 first downs. They average 15 on runs, 12 on pass. So they give up 12 on pass and 1 on penalties. Now on third down efficiency, their third down efficiency wasn't as good as they gave up 18% on offense and gave up 54% on defense. It was 6 of 11, so they was 2 of 18 on offense and gave up 6 of 11. So they wasn't that good defensively and offensively. On fourth down conversions, they only had 0 for 2, and they were 1. Opponents were 1 for 2. Now they had 120 plays. The other teams had 580 plays in the game. So they ran for 119. That was on 39 runs, but they also gave up 49 runs and 301 yards. And so I'll be honest with you, they gave up 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns, 5 on runs, 2 on passes. So that's what tells you the story about Navy in the game versus the Green Wave this week. So if you can come out with a better performance this week against Navy, that would be a great idea. We can do we can move mountains. So let's give you the Tulane breakdown. I'll give you Tulane breakdown as well, and then we'll wrap this up. And let's go ahead and police stats up. Now pull down the Tulane information. Go ahead and give you the Tulane information from last week. Okay, last week Tulane had their first game. We'll give you the stats on the screen for the Tulane Green Wave. And we'll talk about the defensive line in just a few moments. I'll go over to the have the information on them, so we will go through that as well. So last week, Tulane had 22 first downs. They had 9 on runs, 11 on pass, so 9 runs, 11 passes on first downs. Last week we were 1 for 11, so we got to be better when it comes to third down conversion, because if you stay on field long, that will prevent other teams from getting on the field. So I think it's better if we stay on the field longer on the offense. Now in fourth down, we went 1 for 3 last week and also 1 for 2 on defense. Now we gave up 374 yards last week. We had 383 for our team, so 383 yards. We had 71 plays to their 75. We had 203 yards rushing. That was on 40 carries. So I'm hoping this will stay in a progressive manner. Now we passed for 180 yards. We were sacked 1 time. So Keon Howard is going to have to be cool under pressure, because I'm gonna tell you, they're going to bring enormous pressure, and I mean enormous pressure. So Keon Howard, I know what he can do. I know. I've been watching Keon Howard, and I know what he can do. He can run the football. He can just throw the ball. He might not be another Justin McMillan, but hey. At least we got a quarterback that can get out the pocket when necessary. But that 1 sack was unnecessary last week. It was offensive line deficiency. Hopefully, our offensive line can improve this week versus Navy, because that Navy is going to be penetrating our offensive line, so we have to prevent that from happening. So that's just the biggest concern going into this week's game versus the Navy midshipmen. Touchdowns, we had 4 touchdowns last week, 4 on the ground, none through the air. So, but I'm going to tell you right now, if we can come out of this game without any injuries. Last week, we came out with 0 injuries, and I mean 0 injuries out of Mobile. I'm sure we might have had a few nicks and bruises, but wasn't that bad. So I'll be honest with you. I look at this game this week, and we have a good opportunity to go 2-0. I mean, look, this Navy team right now is absolutely garbage right now, if you ask me. I mean, they like Coach Montemuro says, look, they sucking right now. I mean, they're on borrowed time. So we're gonna have to be better this week. We're gonna have to be better. South Alabama, that game was absolutely a starting point for us. It was a sloppy game, but I'll be honest with you. When push comes to shove, we're going to be better. We're going to be better. Also, with the 7-year contract of Willie Fritz, I think that's a great idea. I'm glad we got him signed in through 2027, so he will not be going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm glad for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing improvements out of this offense this week for Tulane in general. Because look, that South Alabama team, that was a complete and utter buzzsaw. But it was sloppy on both ends. It was absolutely sloppy on both ends of the football for both South Alabama and Tulane. Now we got Navy now. Navy is not, and I'm going to say Navy will run that triple option. They had a fumble in that game against BYU when they when I did that game that night. They was running the triple option. They fumbled the football, and that right there, that triple option can cause teams to put that ball on the ground. So if we can defend against that, that will help us. That would help us in the long run. So let's go over to the defensive line breakdown. We'll give you the defensive line breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and give you that. I'm going to go to my page. I got it on my page, so I'll just share it with you, and I'll talk about it. Okay, the Tulane defensive line, I'm going to show you a picture of it. I got it on the screen. Okay, the team stats coming out of this is from Pro Football Focus. You can follow them with Pro Football Focus. They do college football as well. Last week's pass rush grade, they were ranked first in the FBS with 84.2, so that is an excellent grade. Also on pass rush pressures, it was first in the FBS. So I like what I saw out of that defensive line last Saturday. So I'm glad to see it. But pass rush win percentage 78.0. That was a percentage of 78.0. Second in the FBS, so I like that. I'm glad to see that. We had 5 sacks last week, third in the FBS. The 2 contributors was Cody Cameron Samples and Patrick Johnson. So that's the 2 individuals that was the cause of those 5 sacks last week versus South Alabama. So I am very happy what's going on with this defensive line. So I'm glad to see these grades improve. So I'm happy about that. So if you're a Tulane fan, I'm glad this will make you happy with these defensive line grades. But we're going to get better. We got to clean up what we did last week into this week going up against Navy, because if we make the same mistake twice, guess what? It'll burn us. So we have to be more careful going into this game. So I'm kind of leery about what's going to happen this Saturday. We will not witness it because we will all be not in the stadium, but we'll be watching on our TVs this coming Saturday. So we will be on. So once again, let me wrap this up. I'm going at this for an hour and 25 minutes. Okay, once again, thanks for joining us for this edition of Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show. We will be back later on this evening. No weather conditions, no weather to worry about. We will be back on later on this evening. We'll have NBA basketball that'll be on Sportscaster only. From the live stream, Sportscaster only, due to copyright restraints. You cannot broadcast on YouTube or Facebook because we don't want to get copyrighted. So we will be on Sportscaster for the LA Clippers and Denver Nuggets. That will begin at 8 p.m. So we will be on the air tonight. So if you was concerned about us for a couple of days, well, we are going to be on tonight. So once again, thanks for joining us. We'll be back later on. Also, for the networks, we'll be back on tomorrow with Sports Talk. And also at night, we'll have the Saints preview show. That'll be at 7 o'clock. We'll go through the Saints and Las Vegas Raiders this coming Monday night. We'll have the game for you here on Sportscaster. So Sportscaster will have it. We'll have the pregame show here on StreamYard. So StreamYard will be the place for the pregame shows and postgame shows. So this Saturday we'll be on around 10 a.m. for the pregame show. Tulane and Navy leading up to kickoff. So we will have the IMG Sports Network broadcast feed. You'll be able to listen to what they're talking about. So once again, thanks for joining us for the Tulane Navy preview here on Sports Talk. Once again, like, share, and follow us on Facebook. Also follow us on Twitter. Also follow us on YouTube. We are going to be live all week. Also follow us on the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer page. That's on Tumblr. Also follow us on the official flagship of Sports Talk, and also play-by-play coverage of LSU, Tulane, and Saints football. Also, once again, in October, we'll have high school football here on Sportscaster and also the networks we will be on. So please follow us at sportscaster.com/KLW. That's sportscaster.com/KLW. Also follow us on Twitch. Also follow us on Instagram and follow us on Skype if you want to come in on Skype. Also, if you want to follow us on LinkedIn, we are on the LinkedIn page. And also follow us on the Sports Talk blog page that is on Blogspot. Follow us there. So once again, everybody have a good rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Hopefully everybody to the east of us, that's Mississippi and Mobile, Alabama, please stay safe. The Hurricane Sally is about to make landfall. They're talking about it. It's I think it's about 2 miles an hour at the last report. So hopefully they stay safe over there, and please listen to their local officials. So once again, nothing going on over here, so we're glad for it. So once again, everybody have a good rest of your Tuesday afternoon, and we'll be back later with NBA coverage on Sportscaster. So everybody have a good rest of your Tuesday afternoon.